individualistic because they always doing a lot of presentations or homeworks by themselves, but not in a group.
I think it's a very good question. So any others? How about over here?
I don't have some question, but I heard some interesting thing that I didn't realize that IC has in English has some bad meaning. So I usually talk to my foreign friends like I see. So I didn't know that until I heard your presentation. So yeah, I think that's an interesting thing I heard in this presentation.
You mentioned that, like, for example, if you say that, oh, my dog died, and then you can say, oh, I see. But he was shocked that when he shared something happy and the Taiwanese student replied, oh, I see, and he was really offended by this response.
Yeah.
So we should be excited and attentive.
We can just say, okay, or like, I understand. And I almost replied to him, oh, I see, after he answered my question. Like after he spoke a lot and I almost replied, oh, I see.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you raised here. Yeah, I think so. There's a kind of subtle difference in terms of how we use English. Maybe just a question here. I think because you have interviewed so many different international students, did you notice that if they respond to questions somehow differently or similarly to local students, is there any obvious difference in how they communicate or how they express themselves?
Actually, there's an experience that me and Vanessa went to interview a Polish student and an American student, and in Taiwan, most students, when you ask them questions about like whether blah 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 blah, and they will say like in a simplified answer. But that day we asked like we need 15 minutes for the interview, but we talk like almost like an hour because they will talk long and they will share more of their experience with us. And I think that's one of the biggest difference.
Okay, for me, I think the interviewees I have, those from America and Europe are express themselves more competently than those not from the Europe and America. And as everyone said, they often express themselves more than other regions. Yeah.
For example, the interviewee from Thailand, she just gave a lot of like short answers. But the interviewees from the European or Western countries, they like give a really long answer.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think many teams have also mentioned this difference. Yeah, I think it's maybe a kind of cultural difference. Good. So, any others?
So maybe the interviewers from the Europe or America are more willing to express themselves than other people.
And then always, after they answer your question, they always want to communicate more. Like, they want to have a conversation on this topic with you more.
I'm sure more.
Yeah.
I think so. This may also have something to do with their education style. I think they're maybe more encouraged to express themselves. Okay, good. So, any others? More question or comment or any feedback you'd like to offer? Okay, if not for now, then thank you very much for sharing. So, very good.